Hey goalkeepers, today I want to talk about goal kicks. Not the physical technique that we use to strike the ball, but rather the mental approach on how to take each goal kick with purpose to give our team and teammates the greatest chance of success. Now, at higher levels of soccer, your coach may implement and practice goal kick tactics, but often at grassroots levels or the amateur levels, goalkeepers are left to their own devices to make the most out of each kick. So today I'm going to talk about 4 things we should always be assessing and reassessing as the game plays on and illustrate them with some video clips. First is to assess the urgency of the situation. Is your team nervous? Are they jumpy? Having trouble stringing passes together? Is the game starting to get a little bit chippy? We can use goal kicks as an opportunity to slow down play and give our teammates a chance to catch their breath and try to settle down before putting the ball back in play. Conversely,
is it an urgent situation to get the ball back into play? If your team is trailing, get a ball in your hands to restart play as fast as possible. Here we have the team in white down 1-0 in the final minutes. Their keeper is aware of the situation and gets a ball set and into a playable area quickly, leading to a late equalizer.
another situation to have urgency in mind is when defending set pieces. Oftentimes, the attacking team will commit numbers forward, and thus there will be space for your own attackers to counter. This clip is a great example of this.
We have the blue team defending the free kick, with 8 players from the white team committed to the attack. If the blue team's keeper is able to understand the situation, he can get the play started here and provide a great opportunity to counter. When defending a set piece, once you get your defense organized,
take a look upfield and see where your options and space are. Take a second to think, when I collect this ball or it goes out for a goal kick, do I have an opportunity to start a counter? This is a valuable skill of thinking one play ahead and leads us into our next point. Analyze your teammates' options. We have a unique view of the pitch where we can see all 21 players in front of us. So we need to identify a target who has passing options or space to work with.
On this blue kick from left to right, the keeper commits to playing it long and waves his back line up the pitch. An important move in of itself as it allows the defenders to support the second ball. The keeper will proceed to target their number 9, who has 2 great options here and here, but also has the option to flick it in on behind. Now things eventually fizzle out with some sloppy play, but it shows a great targeted ball to a teammate with help and passing options. Now here we have 2 clips of a ball to a target man who has space to step into and control the ball and hopefully be able to distribute it to his supporting teammates. It's just a great example of getting the ball to somebody who has space to work with.
Now, if your teammate is not in a good enough position, give them some direction. We know where we intend to play the ball. They do not. So help them out. Direct them closer if they set up out of range, move them into a more advantageous position to win a second ball, etc.
In this clip, the keeper for the white team does a good job of directing his winger into a more central position, from the touchline to about the numbers. This is important because when a player is too high and too wide up the pitch, they open up a lane for a defending player to step in and win the ball, as seen here. But if they are in between the defender and the ball, they can prevent this direct path back to our defensive third. The key is to put your teammates somewhere where they can be successful. In both of these clips, I would love to get the ball to the near side space, but this left back has to be directed wider and slightly more shallow to be successful. And here, this left winger should be called in to be a target for the second or third ball played out of the back. These are all things we should be surveying while we set up for every goal kick, identifying teammates with support or space, and visualizing how we want the play to turn out so that we can take the kick with purpose. The third thing we want to be aware of are player matchups and the opposing team's weaknesses. If you see a size advantage like this one here, send over some second ball help and exploit it. Conversely, if your own teammates are outsized like the team in white here, Don't set them up for failure like this. Look to clip a ball into the space in front of one of your wingers and give them a chance to move the ball with their feet instead of getting eaten up in the air.
During open play, look to identify any opponents who have trouble dealing with the aerial balls, either by misjudging them or not dealing with them confidently, and try to keep it in mind. And don't be afraid to use the first couple goal kicks of the game to test the opposition's back line. This next clip is the first goal kick of the game for the team in white. Keep an eye on the right center back in blue here. He misjudges the kick and muffs the header. Now fast forward to the second half of the game. His zone gets targeted again, and the white team generates a chance off of his screw up. And to add on to this, be aware of any opposing players who are on yellow cards. Being on a card can force them to play less physical than they would like, which gives your teammates the advantage. And by putting a carded player into a position to challenge for the ball, they may get goaded into a second yellow card and a dismissal. Fourth and lastly, understand your own teammates' capabilities. Again, we want to set them up for success however we can. We all have teammates who don't head the ball ever, so be sure to give them something that they can flick on with their feet or their chest. Or if an opponent is winning everything in the air, look to play short more often. If your back line is a little bit shaky with the ball at their feet around the penalty area, push them up the field, compress the field, and arrange your attackers accordingly.
Look at the difference here between these two team setups. One compresses the field to about 40 yards and keeps play for the second and third balls tight, and therefore they are less vulnerable to being counterattacked. Whereas this team, they're stretched over 60 yards, they look unorganized, and they're susceptible to being split with passes and countered in the event of a turnover off the goal kick.
So, just to recap, the 4 points we covered today were to assess the urgency, analyze your target's options, identifying matchups or weaknesses, and understanding your own team's capabilities. Keeping those things in mind, I'm going to play a few clips and let me know in the comments below how you would approach each of the following goal kicks. I'll include my analysis at the end of the video. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. If you did, let me know about it in the comments below. And let me know what topics you want to see covered next on Club Connection. Cheers. In this first clip, if I'm the white goalkeeper, what do I see? I see the blue team drops 6 defensive guys onto the 50. I see that the blue team also has the size advantage over my team. I do not want to play anything into the middle of the park because it's most likely going to be won back into this dead space by the ref, and my team is very susceptible to a counterattack. What I would do here is try to play the ball in front of either one of my wingers, but before I do that, I would direct 2 of my center midfielders to my targeted side in order to help play the second ball. In clip number 2, as the white goalkeeper, I see that the blue team has a deep sweeper. so I can't play anything that's going to get flicked in behind because he's just going to clean it up. I see that my front three has a lot of space in front of them, and I see that my left winger has a lot of space along the sideline. What I would love to do here is clip a ball in to either my striker or my right winger's feet so they can collect it and turn and look to slot the left winger down the sideline. If they can't do that themselves, hopefully they can knock the ball down to one of the three center midfielders who are supporting them. In the third clip, as the blue goalkeeper, I see that my team is spread out. They don't have the size advantage, and they're not in any position to be able to win the second ball or to be creative off of their first touch. I see that the white team is not pressing my box very strongly. So in this situation here, I'm just looking to play it short, probably to my left back. He has plenty of space to take a touch, get his head up, and advance the ball to the next level. In my opinion, it would be useless to try to play the ball big up the field here. We're just too spread out and we can't work together.